Okay, coaches, for this video, I'm going to show you our format, or talk about our program flow and science for our team trade lines number 3. Now, a couple things on this one. It's very unique because they are going to have 2 rounds of this. So they're going to do a pre-exhaust, and on that pre-exhaust, our goal is actually to get their heart rate up pretty good. So we want to get at least into that midline. If it tips into red line, that's not only okay, that's a really good thing. So again, I'm going to push a little bit on this one. Now again, every client's a little bit different, but get their heart rate up. After that pre-exhaust, they're going to go right into round 1. Now, how the gym is set out, and again, check your sheet, there will be 3 stations. Each station will have 4 lines in it. So basically, there are going to be 4 lines, and there'll be a different station with 4 lines, and then a different station with 4 lines. Everyone is going to be in teams of 3 or 4 ideally. Now this is really important. So the very first thing about this format will be when they come in, you're going to need to put them into their teams right away. So when you're traffic copying after, right, good morning, good afternoon, whatever, and they're coming to the gym, you're going to keep stepping in and making that announcement. Hey guys, I need everybody to get into teams of 3 or 4. Again, you have an idea by having checked your numbers, knowing kind of where you're at in a challenge. Now again, it is a cardio day, so there could be drop-ins, but just have that general idea, right? So for example, if I had 12, I would ideally want to go in 4 teams of 3. So in the perfect scenario, you'd have everybody in a team of 3. Now, again, more than likely not going to always end up in that perfect scenario. So if I had to, right, if I had 13, I would be in 3 teams of 3 and 1 team of 4, right? So just kind of finding your math and numbers so you have that idea as you come in. So ideally, very first thing you're going to do before the class even starts is go get an idea of what your numbers are. Remember, 10 minutes before class, that's locked. So you have a general idea at that 10-minute mark. Now, giving an idea, right? All right, I got 12 in. I could have a challenge. That would put me at 13 if I get a drop in. So just got that rough idea. That way, every time I make my announcement, I'm like, all right, guys, again, you need everybody to get into teams of 3 or 4. Now, again, if you have a really small class, you're going to play this out a little differently. Now, so again, 3 people, you would just have 1 line of 3. If you got stuck in there and stuff, again, if you have 4, I would go with just 1 line of 4 and have them just really ramp up the energy and really cheer that line on that one. Now, again, if you end up, let's just say just 5 people, you're going to end up with a line of 3 and a line of 2. And there is something very unique for that line of 2, and I will cover that in a moment as we get through this. But just really important that you have an idea of where you're going to place everybody. So once you've got everybody placed, like I said, they do the pre-exhaust, and then how the format itself works is the team is all going to start at one spot. They'll start on this end facing the logo wall. Check your sheet in case anything gets changed in that, but that's the standard, right? They're going to head that way. They're going to be in a single file line. Person number 1 is going to do the move. So let's just say it's ladder drill, right? They're going to go through the ladder drill. They're going to jog all the way down to the wall, and they're going to do a rep of whatever the station is down there. Let's just say it's wall balls, right? So ladder drill, they're going to run down and do a wall ball. Once they're done with their 1 rep, they're going to start running back. When they start running back, person number 2 is going to take off. So you're going to let everybody know, like, person number 2 doesn't get to go until they finish the exercise by the wall. Person number 2 will then take off as person number 1 is running back. They're going to grab their high five from whoever's down here, and person number 2 is going to go. When person number 2 finishes their rep and starts running back, person number 3 is going to go. Now, depending on what you have in your lines, if 3 is the last one, when 3 finishes their rep, number 1 would start again. If there was 4, when person number 3 finished their rep, then person number 4 would go, and then after 4, number 1 would start again. And they're going to go for 3 minutes, just nonstop like that. Whoever is next in line will be waiting at their spot. The moment whoever is in front of them finishes their rep, that's when the next person goes. So there's going to always be a moment where people are passing each other, where person number 1 is coming back and person number 2 is going. Person number 2 is coming back and person number 3 is going. And they're just going to keep going. So there'll be one person who will miss out on the high five in that moment, but that's okay. Their teammate will be here to give them that one, and then the next one, they'll get on the next one when they're coming back. So there's always kind of like this relay of high fives happening over here at the station. And you're just going to keep going like that for 3 minutes. Once they're done with that 3 minutes, they're then going to get a water break to rotate to the next station. There'll be a different move here and a different move down there. So again, they're just going to change that up. And they're going to do this one for 3 minutes. Same exact thing. Now when they're done with that, they'll head to the last one and they'll do the same thing for 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Once they're done with that, they're going to rotate back to where they started. Again, we'll give them a drink of water, and that would be halftime, if you will. We're going to repeat that all from the top, including going back to the pre-exhaust. So now that pre-exhaust will kind of become a mid-exhaust. Same thing, I'll pick everybody's heart rate back up, or if a client managed to get their heart rate really high, bring it down, because again, our goal in this format will be to have a lot of fun with movement, and we're really just focused on getting the heart rate in that mid-zone. So it's really all about moving and having fun moving in this format. So there's a chance their heart rate may have come down a little bit. That would be okay. And then from there, they'll again do that pre-exhaust. We'll get the heart rate back up, and then we'll go back through one more round like that. Now, a few keys on this. Number 1, Because the format is really all about having fun and movement, we're not as concerned with heart rate. Now again, we know scientifically we'd like the heart rate to be above 120, but realistically, that's all we're really looking for. As long as their heart rate is in that 120 plus, we're in cardio, we're in midline. We don't have to get to 150 on this. So again, just finding that good. Really, as coaches, what we're gonna be cheering it on is that whole high-fiving, that interaction, that team thing. Now again, you may have some clients who want to push themselves a little bit more. Go for it. They can try to see how many times they, as a team, can get through that line in 3 minutes. You might have some clients who are just kind of having fun with the whole new movements and then just kind of rounding in the high fives and cheering each other on. Again, as long as they're staying moving as much as possible, that whole thing, that's the ideal. Now, 2 things that will make this less than ideal, obviously. As we get into that 4 people line, so you have 4 persons in a team line, it may slow them down a little bit. So again, on that one, if you find that happening and you have clients who are maybe in a line that doesn't fit their fitness level, their conditioning level. For example, you have someone who's very deconditioned that's stuck in a fast line. Or if you have someone on the flip side of that who is, maybe very conditioned and stuck in a slow line. Kind of like what we do on ladders, in one of those moments in the transitions, feel free to encourage that person if they want to jump into one of the other lanes. Now the big key here is, again, just looking for everything. And the same thing we would say in ladders. We would do it in a very non-offensive way. Just again, always want to make sure that we're doing it in an ultra encouraging way. Like, hey, you know what? If you're in a line that's going a little bit faster than what you'd like to go and you see a line of the sort, feel free to jump into that line or vice versa. Ideally, just kind of giving them the opportunity to get into that pace where it's just a good pace for them to hold non-stop. On the other side of that, if we have that 2-person line, here's that unique part. If we have a 2-person line, and in that 2-person line, they would basically be going non-stop, and we're not necessarily looking for that. There should be a little bit of recovery while they're waiting. What we're going to do to help foster that is the person down there, and you'll see this written on your sheet and everything, they're going to do more reps. More than likely, it's going to switch from 1 rep to 3 rep. Just enough time to give this guy a few seconds of rest. So again, if there's just 2 person number 1 is going to wait here until the person down there is all the way done with however many reps we're looking for. So let's just say it's ladder drill and wall balls again. They're going to run down, they're going to do their 3 wall balls, which will take them just a few more seconds, which means I get to just kind of chill here for a few seconds. Then they're going to heading back, and I'm going to start getting down. Ideally, they're going to get back here right about the time I get to the wall balls. They're going to get the break of while it takes me to do my 3 wall balls. So not long break, just a little bit of break, and then we're just going to same thing, go through that for 3 minutes. So the only difference will be that. Now, key note for us coaches, that I will cover this also in the intro. If you don't have any lines of 2, I wouldn't even add the explanation of that part. Basically, again, make it as simple as possible. Only add the level of explanation you need. So again, if I had everybody in teams of 3 and 4s, I wouldn't even talk about that number 2 option. If I had everybody in 3s and I only had 1 team of 2, again, I wouldn't do that. I would try to put them actually into 2 teams of 4. So again, just playing off that thing. So basically, that 2-man team thing, it should be a back pocket thing in case you end up with a class where there's only 2 people in it. Obviously, you're going to have to run like that. So this is the program flow and science. And then lastly, guys, just how we coach this one. It's all about, like I said, the movement. So the biggest thing would be, there's going to be moments we're going to be at either end as we're coaching through. We want to make sure we're here getting great high fives on 2 points. When that person comes back, we can jump in and grab a few extra high fives. We're going down. We really want to cheer that person on. Encourage the person that's waiting here to cheer for that person when they get going. As they go back, we want to have that person waiting for the high five when they come back. And then when they rotate, will be another moment where we're going to high five on that. So again, lots of moments for us as coaches to jump in and get high fives. Matter of fact, this class should end with everybody having gotten multiple high fives from their coach and from their teammates. And then our energy when we're coaching it is not always just a go faster. Now again, you may have some clients who are trying to push themselves, and then go ahead, cheer for that one. I can think of a couple clients off of the top of my head right now who I think would do this one, where they would be trying to see how many they can get. Again, cheer them on as they're running fast and going for that. That's great. If I want to push my heart rate up, I'll just run faster on my way back. You also have some clients who are going to turn that into a jog. Again, our goal is just to coach them in movement. So just make it fun to just be moving. The goal would be that we as a group of 3 or 4 are just going to have a whole bunch of fun running in this lap for those 3 minutes. This is the program flow and science for our team trades number 3.